This is John Fowler with my final project semester report for MPD5350 on disruptive inputs to our current organization at work. Our current organizational state is that of a hierarchical structure based on transmission driveline engineering with transmission programs, systems calibration support, different types of transmissions, prototypes and production plant, a ton of dynamometers, vehicle platforms and axle driveline groups, and all the support that goes with this. The disruptive scenario that we have found is that in the course of normal operation, we needed to come out with something like 5 or 6 brand new transmissions and powertrains to be able to meet the incredibly complex and doubled CAFE standards that come out in 2025, I believe. Due to this, we've had to reorganize the company, try and launch 5 new transmissions in sequence because we don't have the manpower to do them all at the same time, and tried to actually have tech specialists assigned to the first program that would help all subsequent programs. The difficulty with this is that each one of the subsequent programs has gotten screwed because all the tech specialists are being caught up in all the difficulties with the first program, and so everything is more and more and more delayed. This has cost an exorbitant amount in time, resources, loss of hair, and just overall time. And the influencing factors for this is that we have massively increased the workload. Human Resources has tried to keep everything in line by hiring over 3,000 new hires and a bunch of well-organized and experienced people, but it still hasn't quite been enough. From what we can tell up front, some of the biggest failures come down to program timing. They were trying to time everything on this program sequentially and for home run timing. None of this has happened. The home run timing didn't happen because we have some incredibly complex transmissions, high multi-speeds that are coming out, and the people that were assigned to make that happen have not yet been able to move off of them. So that means that everything down the line has really cascaded and gotten worse. The long-term fix for that is to move the darn deadlines in order to be able to allow complete root causation analysis of all the problems that we've come up with and a resolution. In the immediate transition, what we need to do is be able to move immediately and without a huge amount of fuss the deadlines so that we can actually come to a good resolution on each one of these failures. The second and very contributing factor is a communication breakdown based on the fact that the tech specialists are still on the first program. They still haven't been able to transfer much of their knowledge to everything else, and we're still caught up in just cycling back and forth through all the problems based on hardware, software, and all of it being new. The long-term fix is to co-locate development teams so that you can have these things hashed out quickly and efficiently and not have to wait for months and weeks and years. The transition fix for that is to have weekly meetings of senior engineers as well as the tech specialists. One of the more substantial issues that has been found is that with all the hardware issues that come up and interdependencies based on the new hardware, new software has had to be developed, but because so much of it was developed early and not communicated to the rest of the teams the teams that are follow-ons, mine being one of them, has actually had software that is 11 months old to start with. And now we have just come up to speed with some of the newer stuff and basically doubled the number of calibratable parameters that we have to work with. What we need to do to actually remedy that in the future is to make sure that all of the transmission teams are up at the same level or as close as humanly possible after every calibration and code has been fully validated and bookshelved. In the meantime, we need our senior engineers and tech specialists to hold weekly meetings to discuss how to implement this stuff. Outsourcing has been a huge failure, in my opinion, and in many others, because of their awful quality, and just general problem chasing, cost escalation, and wastage of time. Long term, what we need to do to fix this is to eliminate as much as possible all the outsourcing, bring it in-house, and the transition is to go through and do 100% quality control inspection of everything coming in. Otherwise, we're just doomed.